Hey, it's 10:15. I will plan to go to bed at around 10:45. I'll get back around 10:30 and just probably meditate, breathe. It'd be nice to do meditate outside, but it's pretty cold actually. For San Diego weather, it's like 60. It's like 55, I reckon. And I'm wearing flip-flops, so I gotta get back in because my feet are cold. But I was just thinking about this. Let me throw this out there. When my mom says "I love you," like she says that to me a lot, I don't really know how to respond. Like I could say "I love you" back, but it's like not literally true, and I don't like lying. It's like I know how hard you've worked for me. I know how much you care for me and wish me the best for my happiness, but I don't exactly think you've come to the level of awareness and emotional maturity that we can, share the same sort of reciprocity that you might hope for. And I don't know if our values align perfectly. I mean, I think they do, but just the way that my mom is, like, she loves us, but she gets anxious so easily. We're on a flight, we're on anything goes wrong, she's like, stupid car, the map is not working. Can you just please have a little more happiness in your life? And this is what's scary. It's like, you get a job and you grow, become an adult, things fucking just go out of the door. Like, it seems like that, at least for my parents, just because it gives you every single excuse to totally just not be, not appreciate the little things, not be grateful, not be happy, not be, financial pressures. I mean, I get it. I mean, survival. So that's why I'm not giving so much shit for my mom, but she will say "I love you," and I don't know how to respond, and I don't feel like there's a big hole to fill now that I've developed some relationships and people that I can rely on. And it's like in that movie, Jay Kelly, his daughter who coincidentally moved to San Diego and is like a teacher, a preschool teacher. She told him, like, I have my friends, I have relationships, I have a therapist, whatever, and I don't need you. Like, you have your people. You don't. I don't need you, and I agree. It's like I don't need my parents. I don't need to love my parents. It's not necessary. But for me, on my part, I'm just trying to figure out what should I do. What is the most kind, mature, in alignment with my values perspective I can take on this. And I would say it's just being able to understand the length to which my mom goes to protect us and love us and fully understand it. And sometimes the actions she says of "I love us," like, the reason why it doesn't come off truly as me is because she can't tolerate me having any discomfort. Her idea of like me having pain, she doesn't have that level of understanding for her own body and her own self-care and whatnot, that she doesn't realize you need to go through these trials on your own. You can't burn with someone in the fire in order to take him out, and she has to let me burn. She has to let me figure these things out on my own, instead of trying to swoop in and motherly try to take me out. And I appreciate that. I know it's like so complicated, these relationships, right? It's so complicated. Like, she loves me, but like, why don't I feel it? Like, why are her actions not the same as my idea of my actions? But this really brings up a topic of a lot of contemplation for me, because I want to know how to treat my kids when I grow older. I'd like to have a friendship with them. I'd like to know what's going on in their life and totally just make them the happiest child they possibly can be, and be there for them in the most supporting way. And when I think about great parents, I mean, Dax Shepard and Kristen Bell ring a bell, and I think they have a responsibility. An attribute of great parents is that they're happy on their own. They model a good relationship for their children. and they're happy in their own lives. They have things that they truly, truly feed their soul, and their children learn and get to explore that. Because a relationship can be great, but if you don't have self-love, love for someone else will just be drowning. And I think that's the way that my mom sort of is for us. It's like, you cannot love somebody else if you don't know, if you don't have self-love. And as a parent, it's like you love your children unconditionally, but it's almost sacrificial. It's not human, kind. It's transactional. It's not, it's reliant. It's not free. It's not freedom. It's constraining, right? And I'm still in the early stages of understanding this. But I just thought I'd mention that. Another thing that was concerning me was my humor when I'm around my brother. I'll do things to make him laugh, but don't really make me laugh. And there's moments that I kind of get a spike of dopamine when he laughs. It's like, oh, I feel good. Laughs. But do I really feel a moment? It's a real sense of connection? Do I feel a real sense of, like, hey, I think this is great. Like, not really. Sometimes, because his sense of humor is very childish, I suppose. He's 10. I'll say something like, like, oh, like he did something funny, like he threw something into the bushes. Like, oh, I went into the bushes. Like, what the heck, bro? And it just start, just like burst in laughter. And it's kind of funny. It's kind of innocent. But do I find it funny? Nah. I mean, it's kind of funny that he's funny, but is that really like the kind of funny that I feel like I get when I'm like actually with my friends who have like a similar sense of humor, or like find something interesting about me, or I find something interesting about something that we both share about, or them? I don't know. And for some reason I just have this belief that I feel like I'm abnormal, and I guess everyone has this. But it's like, I was talking to Ryan yesterday. We recorded a podcast, and he was like, yeah, this is very formal for me. Like, I can be different. Like, I'm not fully myself right now. I'm like, what? You're not fully yourself? Like, what? That's, I'm sorry. Like, am I doing something wrong? Do I need to be a little more comedic, a little more, what's it called? Put on negative pressures and, what's it called? In cold approaching, it's called, it's like, you can have positive messages, and you can have negative messages, like playful teasing, that kind of thing. I'm scared. I'm sort of scared of them. Sometimes I don't really. I want to get to know someone at their core, not really jumping around. And people reveal stuff on their own time, so I guess it's about that too. But anyways, I don't know if I'm being too, putting people in boxes. I know now that my idea of maturity, can only really be defined in the amount of discipline I put into myself to understand, what it is that I'm looking for in somebody else. As much as I know, sleep is good, and this person gets enough sleep, this nutrition, doing things they love, that stuff, you can conceptually know that, but someone at their core, at their heart, I don't know. I guess I wouldn't really know someone. I guess meeting everyone and seeing the good in everyone, being able to love everyone and not really judge them for that, just sort of, I don't know, just be very at peace with everything. And one is it's something I'm working on. Sorry, that sounded very, very bland, but it's true. Oh. So I just finished watching. Okay, I got in bed. I could have watched Stranger Things or finished watching Pulp Fiction, which I was watching. But I felt tired. Today we went to La Jolla Cove. On the car ride back, I kind of fell asleep in the car, mouth open, which is totally what I always do when I sleep if I don't have tape on my mouth. As you can tell, I have a nose strip on. Helps me open up my nasal passages. It's actually something I think I thought of because I saw York wearing one in a picture. Gave one to my brother today because these are stuff he knows. Oftentimes going to bed. Said it helps. So I'm gonna tape him up too. So we'll see how that goes. There's these scenes I just see in movies that really just motivate me. Like I saw one of the astronauts in the movie The Martian, the woman astronaut, Commander Lewis. She was running on her treadmill toward the end of the movie, and I was just thinking, like, man, and she was sweating, like, kind of like wiped the sweat off her face and like slowed down the treadmill. Like that just motivates me. That just excites me so much. Like being able to run like that. Like, oh my goodness, I'm looking forward to it. Like please. And like, oh my god, I was looking at myself in the mirror today and just feeling super big at the gym today. Like, I'm 135 pounds ish now, compared to 125 pounds over the summer. And I'm so proud of myself for like gaining 10 pounds. Like, that's incredible. And I also look physically bigger. Someone pointed it out to me. I don't want. Do I name names? I guess I don't need to. But he pointed out to me, and I was like, really? And I didn't weigh myself at this point. But he's like, yeah. And I was like, thanks, dude. But like, dude, like progress, you don't see it, but you just sometimes have to acknowledge it, and just getting bigger every day. Just, I guess I feel like there's an end goal. Like there's this one. Let me just explain it to you. This might sound crazy, but um, there's this one girl, right, who I cold approached, and she has a sister. She's sitting with her sister. Basically, I cold approached them one day, probably like a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, at school, and I just told her she was cute, and then she had to leave for office hours, and we had like a 1 minute interaction. I got her Instagram, and then she just left, and I don't know, she wasn't like she was kind of laughing with her sister. Like it was a bit awkward. I looked away. There was a moment of like pausing. I was like, for like 3 seconds. That I thought was pretty funny. But she just seems like a really nice person. Like you look in her eyes, and she just, I mean, there's always like kind of like a gentle smile, sort of. And I notice with the people, and those are the people I guess that attract me, whether it's guys or girls. But she, one time I saw her in the cafeteria, like a couple weeks after, and hadn't seen her in a long time, and then I like looked at her, I was like, and then she like glanced forward, and then looked back at me, and then she like looked at me, and then like I nodded. I don't know if she waved. I don't think she waved. And then later that night, I asked her on Instagram, like, was that you or your sister? Because she and her sister look very alike. And then she said that was me, like pretty quickly after. I responded like 2 hours later, and I was like, I gave her a thumbs up, and I just never did. And then I didn't say anything else. I was like, I wish I could go on a date with her, but I don't really feel like I need to rush anything. She doesn't really know me. I don't have any classes with her or anything. My friend has classes with both of them. And he's the one that actually told me about them. It's funny. But anyways, we're trying to, actually, no, I won't say anything about further about this. But, oh, not about, okay, whatever. Let me just continue. And she, then, like the week of finals, which is like finals week, I see her. I'm eating. I saw these three girls that I know from the building next to me who are pretty chill. There's a guy who transfer student, who I've met in the cafeteria too before, who I'm sort of friends with too, and he's really chill too. And I was like, do you guys want to eat together? So we were walking, and I'm walking with them. It's like hella. It's like I was like hella like I have friends moment like, and I'm walking toward this table to sit down, and then I look over, and both these sisters sitting next to each other, and they're eating with this guy. And I just went and look, and I think I saw her, the girl I called approached. Yes, I did see her. She waved at me, and she smiled. And her sister was like looking up to wave, and then I like I waved at her first, and then started turning away. It was like a wave at both of them, I guess. The reason why I waved, and I was just so happy. I was like, oh my god, she like sees that I have friends. I went surfing that day. It was like the last day before I went surfing. I went surfing for like pretty long, and it was really tan. I didn't notice that. One of the girls I was sitting with noticed how I was super tan. I was like, yeah, I went to the beach. But I'd been surfing a couple times, like probably like 4 or 5 times in the past that week and the week before. So I guess it just looked like I went outside, which is a good thing. And it just seemed like she was interested. And that kind of just, and I'm interested in her. She seems like a cool, like pretty girl. Like that, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all I know about her. But, and I hate to idealize and I hate to be let down, because none of this is really guaranteed. But in like an interaction like that, where someone shows interest in you and you show interest in them, and you just see some of this kindness in their eyes, it like really rejuvenated me. And I know I'm prone to making fantasies. I think all guys are. All people are probably. But it was just this hopeful moment. I've been thinking about it every single day. Being back in break, just like in bitch, just like, oh my god, like kind of motivates me a little bit to just get on my ass and do things and focus on my own life and focus on myself and be totally worth it for like a relationship with someone. Um, well, and that's why like I feel tired and want to go to bed. I want to get 9 hours, and I was really kind of craving something today for dinner. Although we had ground beef, and I was like, why don't I go out and buy something? But like I just don't feel good. And I bought popcorn today, but I didn't even eat that much. It's kind of like it doesn't feel as good, I just want to feel really good. Same thing with going to the gym, like working hard and being able to push myself in the gym. And same thing what Ryan was saying, like I can do anything because he knows he's worked so hard at rowing. Like that's really, really admirable. Committing yourself to something and actually following through and then coming out and quitting and being like, yeah, not quitting, but like finishing and being like, yeah, I can do it. Like that was just totally awesome. And it just signaled to yourself like, life, I love growing and I'm always growing, and it just takes a lot of small steps and getting up and failing and making mistakes, but getting up again and never settling. You just keep on going. My concept of, discipline and hard work, all of it's like part of this. But just, I just have this great sense of, it's like I don't want to do things for other people. I want to really feel self-love and be able to, show that to myself, which requires a lot of action instead of words. And also, just, yeah, being kind, compassionate, having a compassionate inner critic, None of this you're doing, all of this at the end of the day is for you, but like someone else comes into the picture and hopefully they've done the work, they're doing work on themselves, and you guys can grow together. It's such a beautiful thing. I think a lot about what other people think about me, Even especially even when I'm talking in this podcast, it's like, what would you think about when you think about me? And the more I yap, the more I talk, the more I say stuff. It's like, oh yeah, it doesn't really matter. We're like all on the same sort of path, and we're all trying to figure things out. And I hope this is helpful, and I didn't really don't really care what you think. I mean, I care what you think, like if it's important, but I don't care if it's not important. Uh, as yeah. So with that, with that, was that everything I was going to say? Um, yeah, no, I just feel really motivated, and I feel like there's a lot of, well, it's not easy when you wake up in the morning, but it's easy when you start thinking about plans and people and why, and oh my God, I just want to go. My ankle, yeah, my ankle's getting better. Going on runs, pushing myself there, skating, surfing, really just having a base for myself. Not having a body just for somebody else, but also for that really just for myself. And if you want to join like that, and you want to, I don't know, grow yourself. I mean, how do relationships work? It just baffles me. Like how does like this model of love? Do you just learn from your parents? But like, is this you're supposed to learn from each other, grow from each other? Do you give pleasure to each other? I mean, I think you do. And if so, you had a better body, what do you give more pleasure to somebody else? Somebody would see me would think I'm cool, would be like, yeah, you work really hard and I see you. But how is it? It's like really seeing you at the end of the day. That's what you really care about. That's what your heart desires and your soul wants. Does that happen? Yeah, what is all the? I just think I'll get a lot more clarity when I go no nut for 10 days. Go onward.